I understand you have your own opinion on like gay marriage and the war in Iraq and everything. No, I'm not going to pull a sleester here. But
you can ask anything you want.
Yeah, but I understand that since you have your own opinions, but what if the majority of America were to go against you? Would you be willing to do what's good for the common good of the country or what you believe in?
Well, now, the way you ask that question, what's good for the common good of the country, you make the assumption that the majority is always going to make the right decision. That doesn't always work out. There was a time in this country when the majority believed that slavery was perfectly okay. Does anybody believe that's a good idea? No. Eventually, we saw our culture change. But at the time, there was a time in 1857 when the Dred Scott decision was rendered by the courts. The courts actually upheld the idea that some human beings were not as human as other human beings. It's a horrible decision. Thank God there was Abraham Lincoln who came along and said, no, there can't be a subhuman part of this culture. And so there was a very important role in which leaders played, and that was to say that the majority opinion may not be right. So, you know, there's always the need, politicians need to express what they believe is right, take the stand, and then pay the consequences. Now here's the other side of that. If a politician takes a stand that is incredibly unpopular, the people always have the ultimate power to throw him out of office. That's the genius of our system. I'm going to take a stand that I believe is not only the right one, but I believe is the best in the long-term interest of the country. If I take a stand that I know is unpopular, and I did that oftentimes as a governor, then I also know I have to pay the political consequences for it. And if I get beat, then I get beat. But we all have to do two things, is balance what the popular opinion is versus what we truly believe is the right thing. I'll give you a specific example during the time I was governor. Our state Supreme Court ordered us into a education reform. And what it meant was that we were going to have to change our total finance system. There was no way we could do that given the number of school districts that we had. We couldn't offer the kind of curriculum students needed with 352 districts that we had, some of which had 112 students in K through 12. Now think about that, the entire district, 112 students. I mean, there's no way you could offer the kind of courses like music and art. I did something that's pretty dangerous in a state like mine in the rural South. I suggested that we consolidate those very small, inefficient schools that didn't have a curriculum that gave every kid the same chance. Well, you'd have thought I was suggesting we turned off the water. Now, was it a popular view to take? It was not. But did I believe it was the right view to take? Yes, I do. Did I suffer politically because of it? Yes, I did. Would I do it again? Absolutely. So, there are sometimes you have to make decisions not simply based on the political atmosphere, but based on what you believe will be in the best long-term interest of the people who elected you in the first place. The difference is, will we be thermometers or thermostats? And the thermometer can read the temperature of the room. It can take a poll, do a focus group, and say, boy, I know how people are feeling, so that's where I'm going to go. But what we really need to do is elect thermostats, people who know what the temperature is, but who try to adjust it to what it ought to be and to lift us to our highest level of capacity rather than our lowest. It's a good question, though, and I appreciate your asking it.